Cameras on. Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. Here we are on the platform of Metamorphosis, date 10 January 2024. And once again, we are here on the interactive session of discipline and what are the factors that affect the teaching in the classroom and at home. So, before I show the song, I would like to introduce about what is actually discipline. Embrace discipline daily. Motivation gets you going, discipline keeps you growing. Everyone wants to be encouraged. Everyone enjoys being inspired. But here's the truth when it comes to personal growth. Motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you growing. It doesn't matter how talented you are, it doesn't matter how many opportunities you receive. If you want to grow, consistency is the key. So, here is my session for today, and Shividya ma'am is the host for today. And before I hand over to Shividya ma'am for the session today, I would like the technical help to start this song, and from there, the host will take it over. So, over to you, Lalitji.
अगर कोई कर सकता है तो मैं क्यों नहीं, क्या है उनमें ऐसा जो मुझ में नहीं। अगर कोई कर सकता है तो मैं क्यों नहीं, क्या है उनमें ऐसा जो मुझ में नहीं। झांक ले अपने भीतर खुद से आ पूछ ले, कैसी चाहे जिंदगी खुली आंखों से देख ले। मुट्ठियों को भींच गए, सांसों को खींच गए, मुट्ठियों को भींच गए, सांसों को खींच गए। सबसे टकराने को, शिखर पर जाने को मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ। मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ, मैं तैयार हूँ। मुश्किलें हो कैसी भी मेरे हौसलों से कम है, अंधेरों को चीर देंगे इतना दम है। मुश्किलें हो कैसी भी मेरे हौसलों से कम है, अंधेरों को चीर देंगे इतना दम है। आओ हाथ बढ़ाएं, कुछ करके दिखाना है, सारे बहानों को आज से आग लगाना है। मुट्ठियों को भींच गए, सांसों को खींच गए, मुट्ठियों को भींच गए, सांसों को।
Wonderful. Thank you, Laliji. Thank you for all the help. And before I hand over to Shividya ma'am, my introduction for today's session is what is the role of discipline knowledge in school? Having both disciplinary, multidisciplinary, and interdisciplinary. Yeah, make me the host. Yeah. Others, please mute yourself.
Yeah, கேட்கணும்ல எனக்கு.
Others, please mute yourself. Edwin, sir, please mute yourself. Others, there's some noise at the background. Yeah. So, what is the role of discipline knowledge in the school? Having both disciplinary, multidisciplinary, and interdisciplinary knowledge helps students to become more adaptable, to have the ability to think and acclimatize to different contexts and environments. As students are able to switch and think critically from one subject to another. Today, we are going to have a vast discussion over who needs discipline, why discipline is needed, from the experts over here in the field of education, and what changes they have seen over the years. And over to Shividya ma'am, the host for today, and she will take forward the session with all the speakers over here. Over to you, Shividya ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Zonal ma'am. Thank you, Metamorphosis, for yet and again one more interesting session on a very relevant topic, discipline. So when we talk about education, education is not confined to classrooms. education is something which happens every day, everywhere, like at home, in the society, at school. And that is the uniqueness of Metamorphosis, because we have the panel of speakers and we have experts from all the fields, educators, counselors, soft skill trainers. So it is a converging point. And today's topic is discipline. And discipline is one of the fundamentals of education, the fundamental principle of education. And looking forward to all the expert views from all our panel speakers, I would like to invite Dominic sir to share his views on who needs discipline in classroom. Dominic sir is an English master trainer. He's from Mumbai. And welcome, sir. Please share your views and waiting for the words of wisdom from you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So, as Madam said, I'm a teacher from Mumbai. I've been teaching for the past almost 40 years. I began my teaching career in the Northeast India, in Meghalaya. Taught there about 10 years, including in Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh, before coming to Mumbai. And I have taught here in many colleges, from junior college to degree college levels and MBA, etc. I have retired a few years back. Now I'm enjoying my retired life. Now let me begin my session with a small story, perhaps a couple of stories. About 15-20 years ago, my wife and I were waiting at a clinic, a homeopathy clinic in Mumbai, Mulund. As we were waiting, there was also another mother and a son waiting, waiting for the doctor to be called. And the boy was very mischievous, very mischievous. He must have been about 4 to 5 years of age. He would stand on some chair. He would stand on the cushion. He would take a book, put it on the floor, and try to read what is written there. And he would make some noise. It was really embarrassing for the mother. After some time, she pulled him out of the antechamber outside, because there was also a small bench outside and a few flower pots. Even there, the boy was plucking the leaves. And the mother could not even take him there. She brought him back inside. The boy was a little angry. He said, "Mommy, don't touch me again. I will tell Daddy. Don't touch me. I'll tell Daddy and he'll beat you." That is my first story. Another small story that happened last year. I was just coming down the lift. A mother came with a son who was crying. And the son was saying, "No, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything." Mother said, "You should have told your dad." "I told, but he didn't listen." "You should insist. You should tell him, I didn't do that. I'm right. You should tell your dad that you're right. You should stand up for your right." "Kyun sun ke liya?" This is what the mother told me. This is my second story. Now, if I give these two stories as a case study in a psychology class, there will be discussion for an hour at least, about the boy, about the mother, about the parents, what kind of parent lives they have, etc. Okay. Now, take the first case. The boy was saying, "Mommy, don't touch me. I'm going to tell Daddy." What makes him speak such language? What made him speak such language? Because that's what the mother had been telling him every time. Every time he was mischievous, the mother would tell, "I'll tell Daddy. Daddy will hit you. Daddy will beat you." So Daddy became a kind of policeman who punishes. Just imagine the kind of relationship between the mother and the father. of this boy. What kind of relationship they may have had. The mother obviously cannot control the boy. And she had to always take recourse to the help of the father, the husband. The husband he seemed to have been very, say, authoritative, the kind of someone who is to be feared, etc. The second case, the mother is teaching the child to be aggressive, even in front of his father. Now, such children come to your school. How are we going to deal with them? How are we going to teach discipline to them? That's a big question. In the first case, the boy was imitating what was spoken at home. And that's how we learn. All of us learn by observation and imitation. Every child learns by observation and imitation. Whatever language you speak at home, if your neighbor speaks a different language, and as a child, the child goes and talks with them, and the child also begins to learn the language. Suppose you speak a particular language at home, your neighbor is a Punjabi or a Bengali or a South Indian, the child also picks up the language. That's how they learn. Now, the topic here is, who needs discipline in the classroom? Obviously, you know who needs discipline. But how do we teach discipline to the children? The primary method of learning is by imitation, by observation and imitation. So my take here is that the discipline has to come from the teachers. So who needs discipline in the classroom? Is a teacher first. That's my take here. See, you know the golden rule. Treat others as you would like them to treat you. Do things in such a way that even if the other person does the same to you, you'll be acceptable. You'll accepting that. That's that. So let's start with respect. Do you want the children to respect you? Respect them. You can't catch their ears and tell them, come on, say good morning. No, respect them. There's no other method. I'm very happy. I become very happy when children or people call small children. Aap kaise hain? Aapka naam kya hai? It's very beautiful. That's what the children learn. They learn what has been taught to them. When I came to Mumbai in '94, I taught in a school, junior college, which was attached to a school, a Marathi medium school. The boys would hardly know any English. They would tell me, sir, tum aisa karo, tum aisa kara. I used to get very wild. Who is this young fellow calling me tum? It took a few months to understand that that's how Marathi is spoken. To me, is not a Hindi word. It's a Marathi word. Slowly, I had to learn myself. I learned, and then I changed myself. Okay. And that's one. Second most important quality of a teacher is punctuality. If you go to class late and expect the children to come early, is it right? No. You go to class late 5 minutes, and what do the children do? They go to the toilet, they go to drink water, they make masti, they make noise, they become mischievous, and then they say this class is very bad. What a class. You taught them that. You gave them the facility to make mischief. You gave them the opportunity to make mischief. So be in the class in time. Same way, end the class in time. Because there's always another class after you. If another class is not there, there's a break or recess or something. The children need that. They're just itching to go out. go to the toilet, to drink water, to talk to their friends, or whatever. That's very, very important. Because I don't say you should always keep looking at the time and be time conscious. No employee likes an employer likes an employee who is time conscious. You look at the time. I want to leave now. My time is over. See? Prepare your lessons. Don't come and tell children, oh, today I'm not teaching because I didn't prepare my lessons. I had a lot of guests at home, or I had to attend a marriage, I had to go here, I had to go there. So we'll have a revision. Fine. Next time you give homework to children, they'll come and say, ma'am, we had a lot of guests at home, we had this birthday party, I had to go there, I had to go here, I had to do it. You taught them that. You gave them the excuse. If you haven't prepared, don't tell them at least. You take another topic. But then you have to be prepared. And listen. The whole time, if you take a class, if it's a 30 minutes class, 90% of time, there is teacher talk. There's teacher talk 90% of time, at least. Maybe except maybe in a maths class where the teacher gives a sum and makes the child learn, the children do, and then he keeps quiet. We had an accounts professor in our college whose class was always silent. He would hardly talk 5-10 minutes out of the 48 minutes at that time, 48 minutes class. They would tell her, what are you teaching? No, I gave them some. Whatever. Okay. Now, otherwise, normally we talk so much, but we are not ready to listen to children for 30 seconds or 1 minute. Children don't come to talk to you for 2 minutes or 5 minutes. They speak for 30 seconds. A minute maximum. Listen to them. Listen to what is unsaid. Listen to what is unsaid. In 1984, when I started teaching in a tribal school in Meghalaya, it was about lunchtime. A boy didn't do the homework. I told him, stand on the bench. He said, I won't. I won't. I can't. He gave one slap. That time, they wouldn't put me in jail because I slapped someone. Then he said, sir, I didn't eat anything in the morning. I'm very hungry. I will not stand. I got more angry. Even I am hungry. I didn't eat. I had breakfast, but I'm hungry. Lunchtime now. Anyway, when the class was over, he went to the principal and complained. Then she told me about this boy. He was very poor. He came to school without eating. He told me he was hungry, but I was worried about my anger. I was worried about my hurt ego, not those few words, I'm hungry. I didn't listen to his words, his feelings. I listened to my ego. I'm also hungry. That's it. Is it? Okay. And say, accept when you're wrong. All of us make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. Who does not make a mistake? An English teacher makes a mistake while teaching grammar on the blackboard. Spelling mistakes are there. We may have to correct it. A teacher of maths makes a mistake while writing on the board. And children point out, I'm sorry, correct it. These are visible mistakes. What about invisible mistakes? The way we treat people. Children don't remember us for what we taught. After 10 years of your teaching, they will not tell you, madam, you taught me A plus B, the whole square equals A. They're not going to say that. They're going to tell you how you made them feel. They remember how you made them feel in the classroom. So that's what it is. They remember how we made them feel in the class. When you're angry, the other day I read something which is on Facebook, I think, somewhere. Someone was writing a short about some short incident. She was saying that she made a boy stand as a kind of punishment. And suddenly the specs fell down and she bent down to take it. And then there was some scene, etc., etc. She had to go out to fix her dress and come back. And then told the boy sternly, go and bring your parents. Now, actually, it was not mistake of the boy. She realized later on, she mentions that. After coming back, also she was not apologetic. Our ego is the biggest thing in the classroom. No. Sometimes when we are wrong, we have to accept it. And appreciate the children. Appreciate. About 2 hours back, I was entering my house. My neighbor, there's a small boy. My neighbor, he's in class 1 or something. The grandma came and told me, do you have a hostel in your school? I was just looking at her. And she wanted me to say yes. Then she pulled that grandchild out. See, sir, the school, sir, there's a hostel in sir's school. Do you beat the children? See, sir beats his children. Then I asked, what happened? This boy does not do homework. The grandson does not do homework. He's in class 1. So she wants to tell him that if he does not do homework, he'll be sent to a hostel where children are beaten. Similar to the example I gave. You give punishment so that the child does something. Instead of that, I've seen many teachers nowadays give stars or some seal on their hand or something. It's very beautiful. Appreciate small things. You don't need them to top the class to get appreciation. A small thing has to appreciate. He's going to remember it. And he'll come and tell at home, Mommy, see, I got 2 stars today. Mommy, today the teacher said I'm very smart. That's how we are going to influence them. Next time he is going to be excited. The teacher has come today. Yesterday she told me I'm smart. See? That's what they remember it. Appreciate small things. Last month, someone who was helping was doing her IELTS examination. And I helped just for a few days. And she was doing a lot of practice in the IELTS exam for that. And she said, my forte is speaking. My forte is speaking. When the results came in December, that was where she got lowest, 6.5. Then when I asked her what happened, so you taught me how to do comprehension and all that I got highest at that. But I thought that was my weakest subject. But then I was confident in my speaking. Then I got less. I was very confident because the teacher was very, very helpful to me, very polite to me. She appreciated me. I told her, yes. As an examiner, they're supposed to put you at ease. Okay. So they put you at ease so that you give the best. That's what it is. Put the children at ease in the classroom. This is good even for the principals. Yeah, maybe I'm a little off track. About the principal, let me say a word. I've heard many times principals say, tell the teachers during staff meetings, the children are the assets of our institution. We are here because of our children. The children are the assets. I don't want any complaint from them. But the same principals insult the teachers. They don't treat the teachers well. I would like to tell all the principals, children are not the first assets of your school. It's the teachers. The teachers are the assets of your institution. You treat the teachers well, they'll treat the children well. You treat the teachers well, they'll give their best. When the teachers give their best, the children will have to give their best. They'll always be proud of what they're doing. Am I running? Is my time over? Okay, I think. How much time do I have?
You have 5 minutes, sir. You can continue. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So that's my point. Same way that every principal has to make sure that the teachers feel at home in the class, in the institution. If they are just thinking, oh, why is this principal like this? Oh, I don't like to come to school. Some teachers get a headache in the morning, or the BP goes up. They get sugar because of the way they treated the school. And how do they treat the children? That brings me to the next thing, that is health. Your health is very, very important. Unless you are healthy, how can you teach the children? You cannot go to a class and every time with the hanky and wiping your nose and telling, oh, putting your hand on the head, I'm having a headache, I'm having this, I'm having that. Children lose interest in their class. Another important thing is don't compare. We always tell everybody don't compare, but we ourselves compare. If he can get 80 marks, why can't you get the same? I only taught the same person. This sum was taught the same class yesterday, but why only say n number of students could do it? Why not? Why did you do it? Every child is different. If the same topic is given to all of us present here, the same points are given to all of you present here, are we going to speak in the same, using the same words? No. Give the topic, give all the sub points, and make people speak. They're going to speak differently. Don't compare. Never ever compare anyone. Okay, I'll not go more on that. And be an employee plus. Be an employee plus. Be a teacher plus. Don't be just a teacher. Something more than the teacher. That's what's required nowadays. If you say my time is over, I have to go. No. Time is important. But give your talent. All teachers are not equal talented in all the things. Wherever you are talented, use the talent for whatever. Don't say no. And I'll conclude now. The last. I had a bottle of neem oil here. I forgot to bring it. Neem. Neem tree is a very important, very useful tree. Every part of a neem tree is important, is useful. The leaves. When we were small, they used to make paste of the neem leaves and make us swallow to kill the germs, worms in the stomach. We never had any medicines. Neem paste used by people on the face for skin. Neem oil is used. Neem disciplines your body. Neem helps you to be rid of all your impurities in the body. Sometimes teachers need to be a neem tree. They should behave like a neem tree. But let me show another thing. Yes, it is here. But this is not a neem tree, an apple. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. I will add 2 apples a day, keeps the nurses away. They won't give you injections. Okay, that is my PJ. Okay, fine. Be an apple in the classroom, not a neem tree. If you, in the smaller classes, in the ECC, are an apple in the classroom, you will give help to children. You'll make them healthy, mentally, physically, intellectually, emotionally. Emotionally. Your discipline starts by being an apple tree in the class, not a neem tree. If you are an apple tree, not an apple tree in the class, when the child goes to a higher level, we need some neem trees there, some neem teachers there. Those teachers need to undo what we have done. If that also is not possible, when they go to a higher level, we need bitter gourds, Kerala. Bitter gourd is good for health. Even diabetics take that. When you don't help the children, when they become diabetic, emotionally, intellectually, teachers have to use that. So don't go to that level. Let's be apples. That's my message to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful. In very simple terms, you have just inculcated discipline in all of us. I'm very, very sure about that. Started off with the most unexpected answer for the question, who needs discipline? You said it is teachers. It starts from teachers. And that is the moment of self-reflection for all of us. And yes, all the points which you mentioned, some really do stand out, like start and end the class on time. Punctuality means both, not just starting the class, but also ending the class. Listen to what is unsaid. Accept when you're wrong. All very, very simple, effective, and very valid points. And of course, you ended with the best metaphor, from apple to neem to Karela. I think that would stay with us. So thanks for that wonderful, wonderful metaphor, sir. So
Thank you.
I invite our next speaker, Asha ma'am. She's an educator. So sir has actually given the question to you, ma'am, like, okay, the discipline starts with the teacher and you're just going to talk about the same discipline in our daily lives. So looking forward to hear from you, ma'am. Over to you. Please do introduce yourself and then share your views.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Myself, Asha. I'm a Montessori teacher from past 7 years. And yeah, like ma'am, like sir said, so many things I was able to relate to our teaching field. The most important thing, like sir said, when we are late, how can we expect children be on time? So yeah, discipline, I do agree, like sir said, discipline when it comes to a classroom, it is from teachers. If whatever we teach is what children learn, so discipline comes with us. What we portray or what we behave is what sir, like sir said, children do follow. The same way I want to talk in a daily base when it comes to discipline in general. If I want to talk with children, before even going to that topic, I want to tell a quote, like what Abdul Kalam sir said. The cost of discipline is always less than the price of regret. So self-discipline is the biggest investment for success in life. So like he said, it's very important, discipline. How confidence is very important. Confidence are built, or we get confidence from discipline. So now let's see, what is discipline? So discipline is nothing but it's a practice, it's a routine where you have a set of goal, like in a day-to-day life. Yes, this is what I want to do, or this is what I have. So set of goals, and when we practice on those goals is what makes discipline. So it is also one of the most important soft skill. It's a personality discipline. If you ask me, it's a personality, it's a soft skill. And discipline also improves, like when we tell discipline, it improves our entire personality, it describes our personality. So it's very important when it comes to every day, what is our discipline in a day-to-day life. Yes, setting up a goal, what we want to do, and practicing towards that goal is very important. As we say, discipline is like when you have practice. And for example, like I'll give a very big example of myself. There was a time where i was uh, I was around like 73 kgs overweight, and I had to come across lots and lots of health issues. And wherever I go, whichever doctor I meet, they used to tell only one thing: reduce your weight. When we see your age and your height and all, your weight is like it's overweight, so you have to reduce it, and that's when everything will come in control. So there, my what is my discipline? Okay, now I want to reduce my weight. So setting up a goal, practicing that. So I had to search a dietitian. So my goal was clear. Maybe another 5 years, or sorry, another 3 months or 4 months, I will definitely reduce my weight. That is my goal. So I'm clear about my goal. So setting up a goal is very important. Second thing, we need to practice. If we want to practice, we need to have a certain kind of knowledge or some kind of motivation or something that someone is pushing you. So we need someone. So I had to search a dietitian. So even that is done. Now he gave me a plan. So what is my next goal? I need to practice whatever he has given, maybe my food calorie or the exercise that he said. So I need to follow all those things. So there, what is my discipline? I need to follow everything, whatever he has said. Okay, morning breakfast you need to have this, or lunch you need to have this, or your mid morning breakfast, or lunch, mid or evening, whatever the timetable that he gave, following that is very important. That is my discipline. And another very important thing is progress, checking about your progress. What am I doing? What is the progress that I'm getting from it? Am I progressing something? Is there anything that I want to change? Is there anything that I have done any mistake? Okay, am I on track? So checking our progress, self-check, yes, even that is done. And at last, like I said, after 3 months or 4 months, whether I have met the target, the ultimate end. Yes, I was able to reduce my weight, and I was very happy that whatever the target I had in my mind, I even had to cross the target and reduce my weight. So that was something. This is the format of a discipline. Wherever you go, you be a parent, or you be a teacher, or you be a student, or you're an employer, or you run a big foundation or institute, or whatever it is. What is the discipline? Setting up a goal, giving a good practice, having a motivation for yourself or someone. Not necessarily you yourself have to motivate. If you even have someone to motivate you or push you towards this discipline or whatever the target you have, that's well and good. And very important, checking your progress. Where are you? Is there anything that you want to change, or is there anything that you have done a mistake, or you want to redo something, you want to relearn something, or you want to continue? And ultimately, when you have that, okay, this is 3 months or 4 months goal, and you're there with that 4 month, today is my 4th month. Yes, go back and check whether you have achieved. If you have achieved, yes, definitely you will be very happy. What if you have not achieved? Don't ever let go of yourself, and don't ever feel bad that you have not achieved. Reinforce certain things, what made me not to achieve, even after giving that 3 or 4 months time. What made me not to achieve? Go back, check, and restart. There is no wrong to restart anything. Definitely, there is no wrong. And when it comes to, see, this is something that in general, but when we have to talk, specifically to the children age group of like 2.5 to 5 years. See, there is an observation going on in my class now. As a Montessori teacher, we have observation. Like in a year, 2 times we have observation, and they come. The only question all the parents ask, the rules, Montessori rules says whatever the material they take, wherever they take, they have to keep it back in that particular place, in the same place. So the constant question what I get from the parents, my daughter or my son is able to be so disciplined here, and why not in my house? What is that stopping him not to be disciplined in the house? Why is he not keeping certain things? For example, toys. He takes his toys, he will spread everywhere, he will play around, he'll keep here and there, and he's not able to keep it back. Why is he not doing? So here we are focusing about not, no, not doing all of those things. But why? What is the solution? So here, as a teachers, we give lot of positive, feedback to children. Like Dominic sir said, we Montessori, like we nowadays generation needs lot of appreciation rather than pointing out their mistakes of not doing. They first want what they have done properly, or what is a good thing that they have done. So we give a lot of stars, like Dominic sir say, as a teachers. Why can't you people try as a parents in your house? One thing. Second thing, have you checked whether your child, like one of the parents, they came and they asked me that the toys are not kept in a place. So it is not, no, his discipline is going down. Is not keeping everything in his place. So the only question I asked, fine, the child is not keeping the toys in his place. I totally agree. The place where you're expecting him to keep, is it reachable to him? Is it in his height? Where they, like Dominic sir say, is like, is it easy for him to take and place it back? We keep toys in the room, the child, and we expect the child not to play in the room, or yeah, we expect him to play in some other room, and we ask him to clean up all his stuff and go all the way, crossing your hall, dining hall, your puja room, everything, go upstairs, keep all your toys. No. When as a adults, we are very much lazy enough sometimes to even keep our pen cap, we keeping the pens in a proper way, putting the caps and keep it in a proper way, organized and all. As a elders, even we are not ready to do at certain times, and we expect our children to do in our house. And whenever the parents come, none of the parents have told the positive feedback about their own children. They only say that he's not doing that, he's not doing this, she's not doing that, she's not listening, she's not disciplined, she's not behaving well, she's doing like this front of others, she's hitting, she's doing that, this. Why don't you give a, appreciate a good behavior of a child and tell what is that is not good? For example, I'll give an example. Like the child is very good. Whoever comes home, he wishes. Whoever the relative comes and he will tell namaste, good morning. Everything is there. He will eat his food. He's done. He will pack all his bag. Everything is done. He's doing everything. So he's well disciplined. The only mistake that he's doing, ma'am, he will hit his brother. He will hit his elder brother, or he will hit his younger brother, or ma'am, he is not knowing that he is hitting me. For his grandmother, he will go and hit. Have you ever tried telling your child, see, you have a good discipline of having food, you will pack your bag, that is well done, you do so many good things. The only one thing that you have to change is hitting. Be open up. Tell the child that what mistake he has done or what is the behavior that is not good. Be open up and tell the child, sit with the child, talk to the child. What is the consequences that happens if you keep hitting? Give a clear picture of the child, what is good and bad about hitting. Is it good or is it bad? So when you give a clear picture, rather than just complaining that he is not following, he is not doing, he is doing that, sit with the child, give a clarity of what he is doing is correct or wrong. If it is correct, definitely appreciate. Start with what is correct. And if it is wrong, if it is behavior is not good, as a parents, I tell it is all your rights to go up to your child and say, see, hitting is a bad habit. So the consequences of hitting will be like this. It's hurting me as a parent. Don't tell that you're still small, you don't have any rights to hit me. No. Rather than that, put it in a very diplomatic way and a very ease and very in a very good way that hitting caused me hurt. It's hurting me here. Children need more or less, over exaggeration. Do some dramas, So it's hitting me very badly here. What if I hit you? You will get hurt. Same way when I feel. Don't show up that I'm a parent. You don't have any rights. No. Be a child with your child. Be a friend with your child and tell that, no, this is what happens if you hit. So let's talk. And once you give advice, don't think there will be a magic happening and he will not hit. No. The very next day he may hit. Give him time. You need to have a lot of patience to explain the discipline. When it comes to discipline, you need lot of behavior with children to reinforce certain things and bring in certain discipline to your track. Give a goal to the child. Okay, fine, let me see, every day you're hitting. Let me see, if Asha doesn't hit today, I will give something surprise, or I will give some like star, like Dominic sir said, or give him something that he likes, give him some surprise gifts, not definitely a too much expensive one, a few things which is okay at that age, a good dish, his favorite pizza, Sometimes, okay, junk food, not all the time. So something like this, which really helps children. And more or less, where nowadays, which I really feel bad, is parents are not at all appreciating children's effort. They're only focusing on the bad behavior and discipline that is not following, and they're forgetting the discipline is already following. So which I feel that like as a parents or as a teachers, we need to have. And this comes to children. So basically, overall, what I say, like, no, my speech is always short. I want to be to the point and keep it short. And always I say, set up a goal, practice well. And this goes even with the child. So you can explain this to the child. Set up a goal, practice well, motivate or have someone who can motivate you well. And very important, know your weaknesses, where you can do good, where you cannot do good, which is your weakness, which is your strength. According to that, have a good plan, have a good goal. Practice, 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 motivate yourself. Have some motivators who can motivate you. If you don't have anyone, that's fine. Motivate yourself. You are well educated and you know better what you are. So motivate yourself and be mindful to change anything. Don't set up your goal, okay, I'm going like this and I'll be going like this. No, on the way you may get something where you have to be mindful to even grab that and move on. And most important thing, just remove out of your mind that few difficulties also may come which you cannot do, and don't take it that yes, I cannot do. You can do it. Give a try. Say the same thing to your children. Tell your children to have a set of goal, and tell your children to practice well, and tell your children to have that proper like um per- perspective, where if there is anything that you need to change in your path, yes, have that change and move on. Forget your past, forget your mistake. Don't worry, mistake do happens when you're learning. Mistake should happen when you're learning. If mistake has not happened, then you're not learned anything. So mistake will happen. So these are the things what I'm telling. Please tell it to your children. Don't think 2.5 child is very small and they cannot learn all these things. No, there'll be a better person, better people than us to learn or have a good discipline. So tell all these things to your children. And yeah, seeing this video, I hope a few parents or teachers will get some kind of information from all our educators. And please do follow. Just don't see the video, but please do follow. In practice at least one thing in a day, not everything. At least if you feel one speaker has told something and yes, it is very good, it is a very good advice, I need to take it, just don't take it, just practice. Thank you so much for this opportunity, ma'am.
That was wonderful, Asha ma'am. Actually, you just gave a different perspective for discipline. It's a process, right? And also, now we are becoming a team. We started with the question, who needs discipline? Now, teachers, you have included the parents as well. So do you agree, from what I understood from the way you explained, like, just to get more clarity on that, inculcating discipline to children is in itself a process, right? A discipline for parents and teachers. If they look at it as a process, as a discipline. So the steps are very, very clear. Explain, observe, be the motivational factor for them, and also appreciate once the target is achieved. So it's actually a process for teachers and parents to inculcate discipline.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
how it is possible in everyday life. That was fantastic. So it was very, very clear, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, so thanks a lot. And moving on to our next speaker. So now we are moving to soft skill trainer. Veena ma'am. Veena ma'am is, yeah, you're here. Okay. Veena ma'am, please do share.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. Actually, I have this connectivity issue. If I can just be the next speaker, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's okay with me, but I think Spresa ma'am have to, she has to show a presentation, right?
Sure, sure. You can make her the host so she can just show. I'll just connect. Just give me 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Okay, Veena ma'am.
Thanks.
I'll make Spesha ma'am the host for today. Give me 1 minute. Ma'am, you are the host. Check.
Yeah, so I welcome on behalf, I welcome Spresa ma'am, and she's a professor of methodology and applied linguistics, and she'll be sharing her views on impact of teacher training on early childhood education. So ma'am, please introduce yourself and enlighten us on this topic.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, I just try to share my PowerPoint. Yeah. So. Screen. Yeah. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I mean, I just want to introduce just a few words about myself. I'm a professor, as you just, Srivida, you just said that I come from Albania, and it's a little place, but it is in Europe. And I've been born and educated in Albania as well. So I'm a teacher, I'm a professor, but also I'm a book writer, a poet, and also a teacher trainer, international and national one, and many other things. So I'm not going to count all of them. But now let's come to the topic that I'm going to talk today. The topic today is about the impact of teacher training in early childhood education. Being a professor at the Tirana University, where I just am teaching for so long, so it's almost more than 46 years now that I am preparing master program students to become teachers of English in Albania and beyond. So recently, my students are going abroad and teaching English in other countries, like in China, in Vietnam, in Norway, so in some places in Europe, and everywhere in the USA and everywhere in the world. So training teachers is very, very important, because their education in the school is not enough. So what they get in the school is just a kind of a guideline that they get, but it's not all. So being a teacher is a long life learning teacher. So we cannot stop our learning once we get the diploma. But after getting the diploma, then we start the real work. So we implement what we got in the school, but also we implement what we get from experiences from our counterparts, like I'm getting a lot of experience from you today. So what I would say that training is very, very important. And thanks to the brilliant person of metamorphosis. I mean, Dr. Sonal Jahi, who invited me to talk about this topic, because really education starts from home. Is I mean, it is said in our presentations, and it is very important. So I agree with Asha while she's saying that parents only highlight the bad points of the students, of their kids, instead of just saying the good things of the kids, because the more you speak evil to them, the more disappointed they come, and the more bullied they become by their friends or by other people, I mean, when they grow up and when they go to their workplace. So we have to teach our teachers to teach the parents how to educate their students, their kids and their students in their schools. So today I'm going to talk about what is, I mean, this early food education, but why it is important to talk about early food education, and also how to do that. So how to work on that. What is our job as educators, but also as teachers as well. So first of all, we have to take into consideration the objectives of early childhood education, which are to promote holistic development of the child, and I'm going to talk later about that, to prepare the child for formal schooling, and also to contribute to universal elementary education of our kids, to reduce wasted and stagnation at primary school, because even in Albania recently, for example, learners are not going to school, or kids are not going to school at the age of 6, but I mean, because of problems that they are having in reading or in understanding or whatever, I mean, they stagnate, the parents stagnate sending them to the school. Which is not good. So that's why we need to prepare our teachers in the kindergarten, to prepare the parents how to work with the kids in the home as well. So what is childhood education? Early childhood education, also known as nursery education, is a branch of education theory that relates to the teaching of children, I mean, to become someone in life. And also this records the years from 0, so when they are in the home of their mothers, and up to the age of 8. And now it is because of changes, because of too many problems, because of technology, and we have to accept that. The students or the kids are stagnated a little bit, their understanding or collaboration or communication with parents, communication with adults, communication with teachers, with one another as well, because of the use, the wide use of or overuse of telephones or smartphones or computer or television, etc. So early childhood education is very, very important to be tackled, even in the university level, in my school, where I teach my students to become teachers as well. Now we say that, and it is true, children are a gift from God, and as such, they need protection, the right education, love, and care. Yes, because I mean, they are innocent when they are, they know nothing. So we have, as parents, but also as educators, we have to work a lot with our kids, how to absorb and how to live in the new environment. Because I mean, they've been for 9 months in the womb of the mother, and then when they come out, I mean, that's a kind of a new environment. So how to adapt them to the new environment, not only home environment, because while they grow up month by month and years by years, I mean, they are shown to different kinds of environments, like at home, in the school, in the neighborhood, I mean, in the street, in the society, and so on and so forth. Why? I mean, early childhood education is very important. Always, not only nowadays, but always, but especially nowadays, and especially after COVID. And we saw that when the world was locked down. So we saw that how important it is to embrace a child for a grandmother, for example. I'm a grandmother and I miss my grandchildren because of the lockdown of Albania and all the countries in the world. So, but also I miss my students as well. So teaching humanistically, learning humanistically, and living in a human society is very important for us as human beings. So it is also very important to focus mostly on the early childhood education, because from 6 to 8 years old, 0 months to 8 years old, that's the best time for the kid's brain to develop properly, cognitively, but also socially as well. So we bring up them, I mean, as their bodybuilding, for example, I mean, their heart, their muscles, and make them to use kinesthetic skills. Also, we give them a kind of a safe environment, because I mean, they are kids and they are innocent. They know nothing about what's going around in the world. So we offer them a safe environment. But also, learning is far better, and it restores to the mind of our students much more deeper than, I mean, when they grow up. So the muscles of the brain are very elastic, and they can absorb. They are, I mean, the brain is like a kind of a sponge. So it soaks a lot of information that we offer to our students, to the kids. And they are better able to reach their full development potential as adults later on. So the more information we put to their brain, the better for them to be developed when they grow up. So also this early childhood education is also important, because it promotes equity, which is very important, because they are going to live in different kinds of backgrounds. But also it promotes social justice, inclusive economic growth, and advancing sustainable development. And these are, some of them, they are guaranteed by the governments, but also we as parents and we as educators, we can grant everything for them as well, because we are missionaries. First of all, we are not only teachers, we are missionaries. And if we consider our work as missionaries, then we are going to do the utmost we can. There is a quote given by Mother Teresa, that you know better than me, though she was from Albania. But she always said, we should do, every one of us should do a little thing for them, for the kids, for the students to learn. So if we give our part, every one of us, good benefit for the education of our students, then the education of our countries is going to be a good education, and we are going to bring up to educate good citizens for our countries. So that's why it is important for us to teach holistic teaching, to use the holistic teaching approach in our early childhood education. This is very important as well. So now, just to understand it, what is holistic early childhood development? It is a complete educational a strategy that aims to develop physical, intellectual, emotional, cognitive, and social abilities in our kids. And these are mentioned even by the two previous speakers through the stories, but also Asha through her demonstration in building up discipline in our classes and so on and so forth. But how to do that? We can do it linguistically, so to develop their cognitive skills, but also to give them soft skills. And I see that there is Vivian, I guess, is the other speaker talking about soft skills, I guess. So Vina, sorry for your wrong pronunciation. So I guess that collaborating together with other agencies, it's, I mean, very useful for us educators to do our job better. But how to help develop early childhood growth? In what way? To give, I mean, to offer love, to offer care to our students, to our kids, to teach the parents, first of all, to love their kids, because they are a gift by God. And that's why we should offer love to them, okay? But also we should pass time with them and not staying at home when they come back from home and we just check our phone and the kid is staying alone, checking his phone or just watching the TV. So there is a kind of a mute communication in the home. There should be a lively communication in the home as well in order to develop communication skills to our students. So all this kind of connection helps us to make our child grow, and we should pass our time to play with our kids in the school, but also at home as well. 3 or 4 years ago, before the pandemic, I was in Finland for a kind of a study tour there to get some experience as an educator and to bring it back to Albania. Now, they are on the top level of the educational system in the world. Why? Because educators do not stay, so there is no gapping between the educators or the teachers and the students, or the headmasters and the students and the teachers and the parents. So there is a kind of a mutual communication between all the actors of the education in that country. And that's why, I mean, they are very, very advanced in the educational system, because they are on the right path, all of them working for the same strategies, for the same objectives, and also reaching all the aims of the educational system in their country. So that's why I think that being in one line, like even in our home, for example, if there is a family, a big family with grandparents and parents and aunts and uncles and also the kids, so nephews and grandchildren and so on. So we should follow one line of educating the kid, not the parents, I mean, criticizing, and on the other side, the grandparents petting them and loving them and speaking against their parents or whatever. This, I mean, makes bad to their children. I mean, because they give a kind of a bad education to them. Now, what to do? So, as educators, we should identify the educational or the early child development needs since at the very beginning. Because as I mentioned at the very beginning, we have different kinds of family backgrounds. Not all the families are rich, not are in the middle status of their economical status, but some are poor, some are rich, some are medium. And so what can we do? So we should teach them holistically. There is no division between the strata of the students. To identify interventions. So just to tell them that they exist. If we have into consideration what René Descartes, a very old philosopher, a French philosopher, he said that I think, therefore I am. It means that we are teachers and we are missionaries and we have to act no matter the government is helping us or is not helping us. Within the walls of the school, we have to do our utmost to transmit the knowledge to our students, to transmit love, all these soft skills to our students. To choose interventions like, for example, to tell them that you count in my school, you value, okay? So just to highlight who they are, so they can do something, to give awards to our students, but also to promote, to motivate them, to inspire them through our actions as well. Also, we can, include them or involve them in different kinds of activities outside the class, in the class, with other classes, with other schools, or working in mutual partnership with other schools in the world. Like, for example, recently, Albania is working a lot with the Erasmus Plus projects, which are very beneficial for our schools, because the schools are in partnership with other schools in Europe or beyond Europe. Now, what are the problems that we encounter and how to deal with them and how to cope? There is a poor nutrition, as I just said. Not all the families are rich, and all these bring problems in our schools. And some years ago, I was in project in New York, and while visiting a school for the first time, I saw that the teacher brought to her class, some pizzas to divide to them, to explain English and maths at the same time, to explain fractions. So gave one piece of pizza to one of the students and so on, and just to tell them, now just to understand what is 1/2 or 2/3 or 3/4 and so on and so forth. And at the end, she said, now you are going to eat it. And one of the kids said, oh, thank you, teacher. I haven't eaten anything since last night. So imagine how glad the teacher was at the time. And me, I was enthusiastic, at the time. So we have also poor access and quality of, not a good quality of health services sometimes. So we need to improve them, so the government, but we have to tell the government what to do. And also there is a lot of lack of love, even in the schools. And that's why constant trainings should be given to our schools by NGOs, training NGOs, but also by the Ministry of Education, by the educational directorates, and so on and so forth. So in order to avoid violence, because we see that there is a lot of violence in our schools, and we've seen even in the United States, recently there have been a lot of violence in some schools there. So how to improve? Yeah, there are a lot of ways how to improve. First of all, we have to improve the curriculum, which is the basis of the educational system. We have to change the pedagogy, not the old pedagogy. To make the learning environment stressful to our students, but to make it very enjoyable. We have to increase teacher training in our schools as well, to develop the teaching materials as well. So not, I'm against of using only the textbook, but we have to provide our learners with other materials as well. So where they themselves can bring some materials of their own in our schools and to use them. And also to focus mostly on the monitoring of our work and also evaluation. With monitoring, I would say that I agree with Asha when she says that we have to give feedback. So to go back, to go forward, to go back, to go forward in a spiral way, teaching in order for us to improve ourselves. So collaborative work with other agencies is the key point to develop early childhood education in our countries. So there are some references as well. And if you have questions and answers, so I just can, I can reply to your questions as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think you summed it up all for us, starting with the what, why, and how, and yes, the holistic childhood development. What are the factors which come under that? And yes, requirements for improvement. So, ma'am, can you also explain a little bit as to what kind of teachers training would help in this? Exactly what areas? How what are the requirements for that? Just to sum it up,
Yeah. So as for the teacher training, I would say that recently, in Albania, we are finding a little bit difficult because, most of the agencies are turned into business agencies rather than, really helping. But also putting credits to the teachers to attend these trainings is another shortcoming. So they do not bring good results in the teacher training. So the teachers either pay for these teacher trainings in order to get credits, in order to get points and to get upgraded. But on the other side, in the class, they do not come up with new ideas and they do not come up with the recent methodologies and the recent techniques to use in the class in order to improve their teaching process. So what I would recommend as a methodologist, I would say that these should be, not being mandatory. Because if you do it mandatory, then they are going to find ways, sneaky ways, in order to get the credits. But the school, the headmaster of the school, or the directorate of the education, they, in collaboration with a very serious agency, like, for example, Metamorphosis, I would say, choosing the best teachers, choosing the best methodologies in order for them to give the best to the teachers in the school. And also I am for doing teacher training in small groups, not in big groups like 30, 40, 100 and so on, because teachers are human beings, and teachers, when they get together, are much more noisier than the kids, than the students in the classroom. They lack discipline themselves, like Asha said. So we lack discipline, especially when we are in big groups, So we need, or the trainer, for example, needs to bang to something or to sing or to say something in order to attract attention. So doing teacher training in small groups, that is more beneficial, but it should be constant. It should be constant. Like I can give you, my experience in the United States, where I've been for so long in a project of teacher training. It was, or what they practice in their schools is that every Friday, they have teacher training in the schools. So they close up at 12, and until 3, they do have teacher training in the school. So they hire, let's say, a person from Metamorphosis or from other agencies, and then they do the teacher training. So in this way, I think this would be more beneficial. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, so what you're saying definitely sums it up all. Like, consistency is the key over here for teachers training as well, and the structure. So thanks for your wonderful insights. We move on to our next speaker. I hope Veena's technical issue is solved by now.
Special ma'am, you can make me the host back if possible. Be careful if it is okay. Otherwise, we will get offline. Only if it is possible, otherwise, no problem.
She's on mute. Ma'am, you're on mute, Striza ma'am.
I'm on mute. Yes, again, please.
You can make me the host, ma'am. I made you the host for the screen sharing. You can make me the host back.
The host.
Click on the three dots up on the screen. From there, you will see make host and then click on the name.
You can click on Sonal ma'am's icon and just make her the host back.
If it is risky, don't do it. Let it be as it is. Yeah.
It's absolutely
Kindly-
fine. If you're
No
not able to
problem,
do
but
it,
I'm not.
Okay, no problem, ma'am. Let us continue. No
yeah,
problem.
kindly be there in
Yeah.
the meeting so that we
Yeah,
would all be
yeah.
connected. That's all.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
So
I welcome-
a very, very happy evening to all the eminent speakers out here. My name is Veena, and I'm a soft skills trainer by profession. And I have been training for more than 20 years now. And I also train for radio jockey, anchoring, public speaking, communication skills, and IELTS, and at times for singing too. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome all of you from all different parts of the world. And today, as we know, discipline, we are going to talk about discipline in the classrooms, discipline at home. Basically, whenever a child is born, haven't you realized, or you must have all observed that the child learns to speak, but before that, the child learns to listen. So whenever we are just talking and talking and talking, the child starts repeating, and that's how the child inculcates the language in himself or herself. Simultaneously, children are extremely observant because it's a brand new world for them. It's like a canvas for them. This world is like a canvas for them, and the moment they start seeing the colors around, the moment they start imagining things, when we talk to the children. Moreover, we as parents, I guess, before the teachers, the parents are the first teachers for their children to inculcate discipline. And very true, as ma'am has said, that in the early years, because the early years are extremely essential years when the child inculcates, the parents could inculcate in a child, say it reading skills, writing skills, speaking skills, understanding skills, or presentation skills. As there are many parents, you must have seen, whenever the parents are out or in a social meet, they ask their child, hey, come on, could you recite the poem I taught you the other day? And, so the children start reciting the poems, the children start doing what the parents say. Simultaneously, we also, as parents, as educators, we need to inculcate not only education, but education, even if a person is educated, but if any individual lacks in discipline, that education wouldn't be considered up to the mark. Probably I have seen, or probably you all must have seen, many educators, as ma'am had just mentioned, that there are educators who ask the children to talk politely, to talk softly, but at the same time, the teachers or the educators or the trainers, they are yelling at, probably to the children itself, like, hey, can't you sit properly? Is this the way to behave in the class? And So obviously, and then there could be a child who could just say, ma'am, you just said we need to talk softly. And or probably the child wouldn't say because thinking that the teacher is an adult, but there would be a thought process inside the child's mind. Like, we were asked to speak softly, and there you are. So basically, it is the actions, as we say, speak louder than the words. Why don't we bring discipline in our actions? Okay, we can give a big lecture on discipline for hours and hours. We should wake up early, we should brush our teeth, we should pray, we should meditate, we should touch our parents' feet and say namaste every morning and take blessings from them. It's easier said than done. Children would always do what they basically visualize and see. Why do we say that the learning process has changed over the period of time? Why do we say the children believe in the audio and visual these days? Why do we give them the mobile to understand videos? Because they want to visualize everything. And basically, the vision that they see of their parents, the vision that they see of their educators or teachers is more likely to get grasped rather than just the lectures. Moreover, lack of patience these days. I don't think people, not only kids, but even adults, they do not have that abundance of patience, these days. If you are actually even talking to a teacher or discussing something, you wouldn't be able to discuss for probably more than 10 minutes max. And then you probably start getting bored with the subject, or you start, you want to just switch to a new subject. Again, it's actually the lack of patience in adults. And then when children start losing their temper, how do we tell them, hey, you cannot get angry like that, it is just a small thing. You can't be angry like this to your sister. Okay, she's your younger sister, you are supposed to take care of her. And the younger sister would obviously retaliate. So basically, when they see their parents, and what if the child again doesn't listen to his or her mom, or to his or her teacher? What happens? The teacher, after 3 times giving the warnings, would say, I have told you abundance of plenty of times, you're not supposed to be doing that. So what happens? The teacher starts yelling. All right. And there you are. As a trainer, as a teacher, if you lose patience there, okay, you cannot accept, or you cannot actually think that the child would easily not lose the temper after seeing all this. It is easier said than done. We need to, as we say, practice what you preach. You need to be the preachers first. You need to preach everything. You need to show them. You need to visualize. Even if you're, you'll have to control your temper to teach your child how to control temper and act accordingly, according to the situation needed, according to what is basically needed. Yes, we all know that it all starts from the early years, but we are the ones who are setting examples for them as trainers, as teachers. Even in a school, probably when the children are going back home, maybe there are 2 teachers who are arguing about a particular thing, maybe a small thing. Hey, you're supposed to take care of the child. This set of students was supposed to be like, in my custody, or I was supposed to be taking care. And why did you get mine? So many small things. This is just a minute example I'm giving. So what happens, just for these small things, they start yelling, and they wouldn't abuse because it's cool, but they use those harsh words, which are basically not supposed to be used actually. And then what happens is children as spectators, as audience, are really watching. You know what? Look at Reena, man. Look at what she's doing. Oh my God, wo to chilla rahi hai. Look at that. So what happens is, we as educators are giving them that chance to point out. So be the discipline to teach the discipline, I would rather say. If you really want your children to get academically well, but along with that, discipline needs to get inculcated in a different way. Okay, not to give lectures for 1 hour. Okay, you're supposed to say namaste to your parents from tomorrow. I'll ask your parents. So first you have to, when you enter the class, you have to say namaste or happy morning, everyone. Happy morning, everyone. So what happens is when the child keeps listening in the subconscious mind, these things are getting stored. These things are getting registered. You know, the words, the actions, the visuals that the child see in the school or probably at home. I would say home first, because teachers are the parents are the first teachers. So they have to actually minutely, because early years is a big tough thing for parents as well, not only for children but also for parents. It's like a task, it's like a challenge every moment, every day, I would rather say. And moreover, even my children, they're all grown up. You know, my daughter, she is in her first year of college, and my son, he's in grade 10. But till date, I have to keep telling them, you haven't done this, you need to do this, you haven't kept your things in the right place, you're not supposed to talk like that, you're not supposed to. So we have to keep telling them, it needs to get registered, and someday they will actually get the hang of what we are talking about. One day they will start realizing. And moreover, discipline is not something that is just just to be done. It has to be done from the bottom of your heart. It has to be done with all the feelings. If I'm respecting someone, I need to respect with all the feelings. Okay, it's not an obligation. No, nobody's obligated, but it has to come from within. Why am I doing this? The reason is because my parents are respecting my grandparents. I need to respect my parents. I need to respect my grandparents. And there you mistreat your grandparents, there you mistreat your siblings, or there you mistreat even your spouse in front of your kids. So make sure, not at that point of time, maybe sometime later, maybe after a month, you're going to hear probably the same words from them. And there you are going to really, really, you're going to have a tough time then, and then you would be probably realizing, maybe I wouldn't have spoken those words the other day, that my child has just grasped everything, and there it's like a counterattack right on my face. So basically, it all starts at home, and then eventually it is a coordination of education from parents to teachers, and not only academically. Discipline is something, even you must have seen many educators, you must have seen many people who are highly educated, but at times, sometimes I feel, you if you analyze, somewhere the discipline, not everywhere, but maybe somewhere they are little indisciplined. Okay, I wouldn't say totally, but somewhere probably they are indisciplined. Maybe in terms of hygiene point of view, because I have probably noticed there are educators who talk about cleanliness and all, but from the hygiene point of view, you would probably see their messy bags or uncleaned hankies, used 3 days hankies in their purse or in their the bags and things like that. So discipline also starts with ourselves. We need to be clean. We need to have clean thoughts. We need to have clean language. Our words are supposed to be clean. And then eventually our actions are definitely going to be clean, because it all starts with the thought process. So early years of discipline in school, out of school, at home, is always maintained when the child sees it consistently, when the child sees it every day, every moment, and then the child starts behaving, acting, and probably acting that way, and where, as and when it's needed. All right. And one more thing, you must have noticed, we always tell our children, you make friends with those people who are little disciplined, who are clean, who are good, probably good at academics. I have seen many parents, don't talk to that boy. Oh my God, he's not doing well in his academics, and he looks so shabby. He's not. He doesn't look clean. He doesn't look hygienic. So basically, when we as parents are judging children like that, probably children would start judging the parents and others as such. All right. Yes, we need to create that thought in their mind that hygiene is important, discipline is important, not only verbal, but in the thought process, even in our actions. So it is obviously, as ma'am said, it is a holistic training, a holistic approach. It's a 360 degrees approach. So basically, it's a 360 degrees approach. We need to get disciplined um, from all 360 degrees angle. So kids are watching you guys. So kids are watching us, even me, even all the educators, all the parents. So we get disciplined first to set the right example for our children, to create the right discipline in their lives, so that we can inculcate the right values for the right disciplined life. And that's what creates a disciplined lifestyle. That was all about my topic, that discipline creates the right lifestyle in our lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Veena ma'am. You have actually concluded it with everybody's points. So the message which I got from your views are like, children are the mirrors. Like, they just reflect who the teachers are, who the parents are. We are just seeing the reflection in the children. So if at all we are not happy with the reflection, it's time for self-reflection. Right. And yes, you also pointed out that abundance of patience is the need of the hour now. Yeah, because everything is like kind of fostering instant gratification. See, it is an evolutionary process. Change is always going to be there. But as long as we are aware of it, we can balance it. If we see even smaller things like YouTube videos, now people have moved to reels or the shorts, because there is no patience to watch a 10-minute video, and YouTube promotes shorts because that is more viewership. So somewhere the society is also fostering it, and that is how change works and magnifies. So yes, as all of us have been talking about the same topic as discipline, from my side, I would just like to sum it up as discipline. If we just categorize it into thoughts, words, and actions, first thing, it is the sync of thoughts, words, and actions. That is discipline. So it will be non-judgmental in our thoughts, non-violence in our words, and consistency and clarity in our actions. That can be summed up as discipline. And yes, I came to this conclusion because of all of you. The views which you share gave me this insight. And thanks a lot to all of you for this wonderful, wonderful session. And
So anyone, sorry, anyone has any questions to be asked to anyone? If there is anything. Ranjana ma'am, are you there?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Over to you.
Yeah. It's sorry, I can't open my video.
No problem, no problem.
I am in another place. Yeah, it was a very good insight. We learnt a lot, I think, to carry forward. Though I'm a retired teacher, I don't have a classroom now to develop this skill. But still, it's an eye-opening. Wherever I couldn't do, I could have done if I had known this before. And it was also a, what do you say, I revised what I have done, and I felt happy that I could do this. I could develop this skill in my students. I could make them learn from me, understand me, some positive things which I could do. So I felt elated hearing it, that I have done it. That much I can say, but all were wonderful speakers. And the host too. Kudos to all of them.
So Ranjana ma'am, my answer to your question is, though you said you don't have a classroom, you're not teaching and you're done with the teaching. So my request to you is, I'm not going to let you all retire so soon. Number one is that. Number two is, with your experiences, with your learnings, wherever you go, make it into a classroom. Whether you are at an airport, whether you are in a mall, whether you are in a marriage ceremony, observe, check about the parents' discipline over there, because these are the places where the parents' discipline are most to be noted.
Yeah, true.
I will say in a non-comfort zone. That is where exactly the parents' actual discipline is noted, and educators' disciplines are also noted. In the classroom, when they come to know that a supervisor is coming to check them or they are going to be inspected, immediately they will start wearing their wow to be the good book hats and For that momentary period, 5 to 10 minutes, they will show their best. They will stop all those kind of negative influences and show the best. So we have to start creating situations, start making these kind of zones into learning classroom. No matter आपके बारे में लोग कुछ भी बोलेंगे, वहीं पे आप उधर start कर दीजिए कि sorry, please don't try to do the child this way, because this is the only way we can improve the society. This is the only way we can awaken the dormant minds. Whether you are a parenting coach, whether you are a counselor, whether you are a retired teacher, and take your learnings, take your experiences as the best degree forward. So thank you, ma'am, for being here for the full session over here.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I liked the session, including the host. And the lighter part of it is that, as you said, whether it's in the airport or whether somewhere else, I should check it. The lighter part of it is that wherever I communicate with somebody, they ask me, are you a teacher? It's not that I'm admonishing them or correcting them, nothing like that. It's a casual conversation. And last, in the doctor's clinic, I asked that student, she was a student, that how did you gauge? So she said, from my words, did I say anything like that where you felt I am a teacher? She said, no, just like that. She couldn't say. So I don't know. It's not that my exterior, my facade. She told me, no, it's not that. But I don't know what made her feel. Maybe somewhere the teacher in me came up. Don't know, madam.
I always say the principals that you are a principal only for a momentary period. 4 saal, 5 saal, 6 years, 5 years. But an educator is always an educator. No
True.
matter wherever, which stage, he is always an educator. So never regret that you're not a principal. Never regret that you didn't get those high profile positions to make an impact. As an educator, we are making an impact day in and day out through our own experiences and learning. So, oh yes, Pressure ma'am, you want to share something?
Just to thank all the speakers, but also the participants for providing us with the beautiful and bright insights about discipline and about early childhood education, which is really crucial in our countries as well. Now, just I have nothing else to say, but just to to read a poem that I just while working on this PowerPoint and asking Dr. Sonal how to do it and how long do I have to do that and so on and so. So something sprang in my mind, and I just write a poem about children because everything starts, with children. God's grace, the children are. Don't spoil their wit, the joy and charm. Only with toys and other indoor stuff. God brought them to play, to live, and to adore the beauty of their childlike deeds, for they are the greatest in the kingdom of Lord.
Wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank
So
you.
I
So
remember,
another big thank you for you, Dr. Sonal, because you made me write poems
thank you so much, ma'am. Always,
thank you.
always a part of
to
Metamorphosis.
exercise our brain.
I remember one incident. I think when my daughter was born, I think she was 6 months or 5 months. I had to take her to a pediatrician for a checkup, normal routine checkup. And we missed the appointment of 7 o'clock. We reached there by 9 o'clock. And when we went to the pediatrician, we reached over there. The first thing that the doctor asked me was, to me and my husband as parents, was, if it was your flight, would you have missed? But just because I am a doctor, you took me for granted that I will stay over here till 9 p.m. But if it was your flight, would you have missed? You will have left the house early. So no excuses over here. So this is what was the biggest thing for me to learn, that yes, if it was a flight, we would have definitely left the house early. Considering discipline as the most important factor in our day-to-day life affairs, children watch, observe. Children also observe in the classroom the teachers' unlearning behaviors when they are not in a teaching zone. In the staff room, how they are treating the other teachers. So that is where discipline mostly is taken as a biggest learning factor, which the curriculum and the lesson plans will not teach.
Yeah.
So over to Dominic, sir. What is your view for today?
I mean, it was excellent. Every lecture was very beautiful, very nice. We learned a lot of things. When everyone, as Anjana Madam said, even the host was has done a very good job. I mean, it's very beautifully you have summarized everyone's talk.
We really love that apple thing of yours, and definitely we are going to start using this. Let us be an apple and keep all the blues away. Let us be that apple. Because see, I remember when you talk about the apple, an apple is always an apple. It neither changes its color, neither changes its flavor. So we have to be that way. We have to be that kind of what do you call an antidote in the classroom to keep the blues away for the children. Be an example in our natural behaviors.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us this wonderful insight.
Thank
Over
you.
to you, Shividya, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I would like to thank all of you on behalf of Metamorphosis to be a part of this wonderful session and great takeaways and lots of learning. And I'm sure we will carry this ahead and we'll be able to influence more people, because that is the whole agenda for this, for these kind of sessions. Because we are all kind of motivated, so motivation always works. And yes, a big thank you to Sonal ma'am for being that motivator for all of us, so that we keep going. We have the strength to share, we have the strength to learn, and we have the strength to keep it going. So thank you, all of you, and thank you.
My next session is coming in the January end with around, I think, 7 or 8 speakers. So whoever has attended in January, all have to be a part of it. And that topic is going to be a very hit topic. So stay tuned for this very soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Thank you.
So thank you, everybody. Good night. And Happy New Year to all
Good
of
night.
you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Okay.
Thank you.